Alright, this is Mr.XtrA, ColoradoRap.com, doing this blog about what went wrong on January 18th for Dirt versus Detour. You can find exactly what I'm about to go over on ColoradoRap.com, what went wrong. 3 months ago, I sent Dirt the deposit for the original date, which was January 26th. Dirt did not want to fly, so the agreement was he would drive from Syracuse to Philadelphia to pick up Hibernation and then to Denver. 6 weeks ago, Dirt asked me to switch the date, so the original change was thanks to him. But he asked to switch the date due to a tattoo convention he had that same weekend, and he said that he could bring along Ivan the Great as part of that. So Ivan the Great wasn't originally part of the equation. But we said that's fine and pushed it up 1 week. And at this point was when Ivan the Great and Japanese Jesus was confirmed for 3 90-second rounds on the new date, January 19th. About 3 weeks ago, myself and Curtis went to McDonough's to get the battery left behind at the Dot Mob event, and the venue said they were double booked for the 19th and offered either Friday or Sunday as a resolution. So we called Dirt and Chris Kane and confirmed Friday. About 2 weeks ago is when Poison Pen called and said he had no scheduling conflict. So that'll be relevant in just a minute. The day after that, Jap Jesus called to say he can't make it on Friday because he's got Saturday and Sunday off already. So Jap Jesus versus Ivan is off. That's also the same day that I offered to send half the bread for Chris Kane's ticket up front to his manager Miz, because our agreement was half the ticket covered and we'd cover the hotel. And she said that she would rather I wait and she'll buy the full ticket and I can reimburse her. So it was about 2 days after that that I bought Poison Pen's ticket to host, since I didn't have to buy Chris Kane's ticket up front. Then it was about six days before the event when Ms. Chris Kane's manager hit me up to let me know that she was not going to be able to afford the ticket. She did not have a wreck, as I originally stated to Dirt. Her transmission went out on her car, so she could not afford to make the purchase. So I came up with money and basically took care of that up front as well. Ms. sent me $85 and I covered the rest. So about 4 days before the event, I let Ms. know the only way we could afford to get the ticket, since I was coming up with the bread, was from the 16th to the 19th instead of the 17th to the 19th. At this point, Chris Kane didn't get his ticket for Megabus from Milwaukee to Chicago so he could catch that plane. So he missed the plane. It was at that point that I talked to Miz and Bishop and let them know that Chris Kane had missed his flight, and I wasn't sure what we were going to do about it. But I offered to Dirt, who was already looking for more gas money, as a resolution that he could pick up Chris Kane on the way in Chicago. It's not really out of the way once you're already on the trip and going all the way across the U.S. And that way we can get him some more bread for gas. We sent him more bread for gas. Dirt said that due to a misunderstanding that I had said that Ms. was in a wreck because I was trying to say that she basically had her car in the shop and wasn't able to drive it, was the point I was driving at. But he said at some point I said she died in a wreck or something like that, and I manipulated him into going to get Chris Kane. So at this point, he said he was still coming, but he was going to punch me in my face if I said any word sideways to him. Basically, at that point, I stopped communicating with Dirt. I thought that he was good to go. He said that he would be here. There's no way that he would let Hibernation not have a debut. Shout outs to Hibernation, who was completely prepped and ready to go and at the door and just waiting for a ride that never showed up. But he said that there was no way he wouldn't be here, and last I heard, he was going to use some of the gas money to get a ride from Syracuse to Philly, where he was going to pick up a legitimate car that he could drive for the rest of the trip. And then I heard that he got on a train and went to the wrong state or caught the wrong train or something. I haven't really heard any update. I haven't really heard Dirt's story, what happened. I do know that his story is not the accurate story of what happened. I have timestamps, copy pasted conversations, etc., etc., etc. Anyone who wants to ask me a question regarding everything that went on can feel free to tweet me at Bring Your Bars on twitter.com/BringYourBars, and I'll be happy to address anything. Shout outs to Poison Pen for making the trip and hosting the event, even as chaotic as it was. Shout outs to the ABL for making the trip all the way from Washington. Shout outs to Scotty for coming through and having a great battle with Solid Theory. I mean, things could have went differently, but shit happens. No blame falls to Hibernation. No blame falls to Chris Kane. Chris Kane wasn't here originally because of a miscommunication between his manager and myself, and Hibernation only didn't make it because his ride never showed up. As for what Dirt has to say for himself, I don't know. Ask him. Shout outs to everybody who attended the event. Shout outs to everybody who will be there on February 16th for KG the Poet versus J Money, In Fact versus S. Youngin, and Ill Limit versus T2 Good, hosted by Master Foul, formerly of the Lyricist Lounge Show in New York. That's it. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Mr.XtrA. Check out the website, coloradorap.com. Like I said, what went wrong? Everything went wrong. Does that justify someone not making the commitment they said they would? You decide.